Anyways, let's move on to the other team in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Clippers, who currently sit at 8-1, and as we are recording it, just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 110-108. And let's really talk about this, because is this finally the year that the Clippers get to the finals? I mean, is that the question we're posing here? Because you had them in your
I had them in the Western Conference.
You had them in the Western Conference finals. Yeah, in the finals.
I'm not going to have them beat the Warriors.
Okay, but
you can't have them beat the super team.
They're playing 4-on-5 out there. You got to give them some credit.
They are. But I mean, really, here with the Clippers, is this their year to possibly get to the Western Conference and beyond? Because we've talked so many times tirelessly about that this could possibly be Chris Paul's last year in LA, and this could possibly be Blake Griffin's.
That's the reason why.
This could be possibly Blake Griffin's last year in LA. But does that actually mean anything? Because they've been playing absolutely phenomenally, and I do not want to take that away from them. And they are playing ridiculous amount of defense right now, holding their opponents to 88.3 points per game. I think that's gone up a little bit because OKC did have over 100, but still, for those first 8 games, that's ridiculous. And they've been holding their opponents to a field goal percentage of 39%. So their defense has been absolutely ridiculous.
Which makes no sense because they added Mo Spates. I mean, I get it. He lost some weight. He's looking good out there, but like this is a team where, between adding a pure offensive threat like Mo Spates, JJ Redick, we know he's done a lot to improve his defense, but he's still not, like the best 3-and-D player. His 3 shots amazing, don't get me wrong, but his defense, questionable at times. They've got a lot of guys who are playing really well right now, and I feel like eventually that's going to drop out on them. But look, it's the recipe to success. If you can hold the other team to scoring that low, it doesn't matter who you got out there. It's easy to outscore them because you've got guys like JJ, you've got guys like Jamal Crawford who are just volume scorers, and you've got Blake who has expanded his game. He's no longer just the athletic freak. He has an all-around game. And you've got the best floor general in the league out there with Chris Paul. I mean, I get it. I make the joke 4-on-5 all day, but it's true. They're doing it.
Yeah. Well, and for me, I think that to answer what you said, Sean, is this is their year mainly because of Chris Paul could decide not to take his option at the end of the season. Blake Griffin could decide to walk at the end of the season. JJ Redick, free agent at the end of the season. There's guys that could be leaving this team, and it's one of those things where, on top of it, I know that like Maamute and Spates aren't up there with Chris Paul, but those are 2 guys, 2 role players that could not take their options as well. They have so many players that could leave to where in this offseason it could be, well, we got to reconstruct this team.
One thing I want to say, though, when we say, is this their year, is this as in saying, are you saying when you say this is their year, are you saying this is their year to win, or this is their year to compete for the Western Conference Finals?
This is their year to compete because I think they'll get to the Western Conference Finals and lose to the Warriors still.
So this is more, they are going to compete with every 14 other teams in the Western Conference.
Well, how I see it going down, if I'm going to piggyback off my prediction from the playoff predictions video, is they'll get to the Western Conference because they will compete with everyone else. They'll be saying this is like our last ride because we don't know what the future has in store to us. We will get an epic series between them and the Warriors, kind of like Thunder's Warriors last year. But if I had to pick a team, I'm still picking the Warriors. But it's going to be a great series between them.
One thing, though, with the Clippers so far, and I'm not trying to take away from 8-1 right now because they did beat Oklahoma City, but outside of that, and they did beat San Antonio, outside of that, they haven't played the Warriors yet. And I want to see how that actually goes.
The Warriors are still the measuring stick. I use San Antonio because San Antonio is a consistent product honestly, in the last decade. It's kind of like, you know what you're getting. I know this is the Tim Duncan-less San Antonio Spurs, but Kawhi is still growing. He's still becoming he's already one of the best players in the league, but he's becoming better, which is freaking crazy to think about. But if they can match up against San Antonio, who usually causes problems for everybody else, I think it's a very good sign for them going forward. I think, like Ricky said, this is kind of a last hurrah. This is your last best chance, and I'm with you. I think they're going to come in. They're going to go Western Conference Finals, looking the way they are right now, and they're going to lose to they're going to lose to the Warriors because matchup wise, it just doesn't favor them.
The first time they'll play the Warriors is December 7th. They'll get them at home,
straight hype,
and then the next time they play the Spurs is December 22nd. That one's also at home, so you get to play them both at home your first time.
Are either those back to backs?
I don't know. No, the
suck.
Spurs is not. The Spurs, they have one game off. The Warriors, they have 3 games off.
Perfect.
Going
Honestly,
into
this year, back-to-backs are murdering teams early in the season. I think I don't know if it's just conditioning or what.
But the one thing I am looking at is I look at the rest of their schedule in November. The next 4, they could win them: Minnesota, Brooklyn, Memphis, and Sacramento.
And then
they can win all 4.
They can win Chicago, too.
Chicago's interesting, though, because Chicago's this year it's either they play well, they play bad. They've been playing a lot better than most people have thought. Give them credit, Sean.
They have. But also
look at the down low game where they're going to get dominated.
And also look.
Sorry, Rolo's not that good.
Look,
Taj can pick it up though. Taj has been playing good this season.
Chris Paul will be able to shut down Rajon Rondo. Chris Paul is the best defensive point guard in the league. I think we can say that pretty easily.
It'll be a good game. That's all I'm saying, Sean. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say?
That's all I'm saying.
Can I make a bet?
No,
right
it's all I'm saying, Sean. You can't joke. It's all I'm saying.
Can I make a bet right now? We'll make a podcast bet because I've been calling out teams and maybe. And
I don't want to make a bet.
No, nothing's on the line. Nothing's on the line.
Okay,
Relax.
Then it's not a bet.
Whatever. and this actually benefits you because I'll call a team out. Clippers would beat the Bulls by 20 points.
Okay.
Clippers would beat the Bulls by 20 points. I'll say that.
Okay.
But one thing with the Clippers too, and now I said they're going to beat them by 20 points, but I don't think they are. I mean, yes, they've been playing fantastic defense, but again, it's been 9 games.
Overreaction, Sean. Get with the system.
9 games. Chris Paul had injury problems last year. Blake Griffin had injury problems last year. And yes, they've been playing fantastic defense, but that cannot be sustained.
But the thing is, if you look at the schedule, if they can get the wins now,
Cruise
that's
control,
going to
baby.
help them because, like I said, those first 4, the only teams in November.
We're talking playoff babies.
Yeah, I know, but you get the wins now so you can get into the playoffs.
What do you think the magic number for the playoffs is going to be for the West? Is it going to be 45?
Win-wise?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 46. But I mean, they're easily going to get that.
Well, that's the question. Is do they have the chance to position themselves to be on the opposite side of the Warriors? Is that within their control?
I think they're top 4. They're a top 4 team.
Well, to be completely on the opposite side, they got to be 2 or 3. So, I mean,
that's the question.
Looking at that, I think they definitely could. Hey, I mean, like you're saying, they can go on cruise control. They might just be the number 1 team in the West. That might be crazy to say.
That's saying a lot.
But
and the one thing
again, cruise control here, Dave.
Yep.
The one point I did want to spit out was the rest of their November schedule. The only 3 teams they play that are quality opponents to me: Bulls, Raptors, and Pistons.
You're not throwing Indiana in there?
2 of those are at home. Indiana's been a joke this but it's in Indy.
That's in Indy. Indy's 4-0.
That's in their wheelhouse right now.
But it's in Indy. It's the field house.
The wheelhouse.
The field house. But the rest of their opponents, Dallas, I'm not afraid of. Brooklyn, they get them twice. What are
you on the Clippers? I'm not afraid of them. Bring them on.
If I'm on the Clippers, I'm not afraid of them.
Assistant coach Ricky Widmer.
I mean, he could be. Do we know if he played at Doc Rivers' house? Did he play in his backyard?
I
are we
think
going to sign to a contract?
Nurse Widmer up in here.
But the point I'm trying to make is this team at worst could be a maybe 4-loss team going into that first big test Thursday, December 1st at Cleveland.
Yeah, they're going to go up against Cleveland, and they might be going up with 4 wins. Saying they're going to lose all the team, whatever.
I said at worst.
Yeah, and then you have Indy again, but that one's at L.A. and Indy's 0-5 right now. When we're recording that is away. Then they have Golden State, and that's not a back-to-back. They have a 3-day break there. They do have Cleveland and then New Orleans, which isn't that's back-to-back, but again, you're playing New Orleans there. There is a back-to-back, though. You got Denver on the 20th, and 22nd they play San Antonio, so they do have a 2-break there, but then they go and play Dallas on the 23rd, then they play Los Angeles on the 25th, and then 26th they play Denver, so that's a lot of games in that bunch right there.
The more interesting thing about that Warrior game, it's not a back-to-back either for the Warriors. They're playing on the 5th.
So we get a true test.
Get a game off. However, December 8th, in Utah, that could be a trap game for the Warriors. It's a back-to-backer.
I don't know if that's a trap game. I think just Utah's really good.
I don't know. The Warriors on back-to-back haven't been well.
Trap game more sounds like you're playing a bad team instead of a true test.
I'm saying because it's a back-to-back.
Yeah, but I'm saying Utah is not a trap game. They're just good.
Yeah, Utah's
on top of a back-to-back is what I'm saying.
But one thing about the Clippers is, again, they've proven that they're good in the regular season. They've proven this season season in,
4
season
years,
out.
yeah.
But the thing is that I just don't trust them going to the playoffs. I mean, we talk about
is Mo Spates one of the best pickups in the offseason now? Like most underrated, definitely. I think
most underrated, maybe. I mean, but we knew Mo Spates was going to be adding something to a team just because of the way he played in the playoffs.
But he came in. He lost a good chunk of weight. He came in a little more athletic, a little more energized. He doesn't look as mopey anymore.
He doesn't look
He's
mopey,
taking
but
shots. He's getting better looks. It's weird to say he's getting better looks right now than he was on the Warriors last year, and it's because of the attention drawn down low.
But we saw what he could do with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a better fit for most Spates, but still, most Spates, I think we saw what he could do from the outside and stretching the floor. And I think that's just something that really might be boosted because you have to worry about DeAndre down there or Blake down there. But I think what the Clippers is, and I think it's been the thing all along, is that the Clippers just still feel like a weird team. It's more of watching them, and it's really the eye test. It's like, okay, Chris Paul and JJ Redick pair phenomenally. DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul pair phenomenally. Blake Griffin is a fantastic player, but when you put them all together, it's like, all right, there's something missing. And maybe it's that small forward position that's taken up right now by Luke Amamba Mute. But I think it's just that weird combination, and then you also have to worry about Jamal Crawford, because Jamal Crawford, while he is a decent shooter and a good scorer, it's just more, can he be consistent, and can he be consistent shooting the ball?
Yep.
And I mean, really, outside of that, on the bench, I mean, we talked about Mo Spates, but really, Mo Spates and Jamal Crawford, outside of that, there's no one like, oh wow, you got to worry about him off the bench.
You're not worried about Coach's son out there?
No, I'm not worried about Austin Rivers. I'm not worried about Raymond Felton, who's been in the league for 35 years and just looks like a couch potato.
I mean, if there was a team to ask for a small forward, I mean, they know some guys pretty close by. Little Rudy Gay?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that's too much in one spot there, because I think you need more of a guy who's good defensively.
Well, that's what they've got.
I think you need pretty much just like another guy like JJ Redick. In a weird way, because Rudy Gay is a guy who needs the ball in his hand. So I don't know.
He's playing really well this year, though.
He is, because he's a good scorer. And when you're on a Kings team where you're the second option, then that's where you're going to go. But
fair enough.
To wrap up this Clipper conversation, Ricky, I know you said it before, but are you sticking with they are going to be in the Western Conference Finals?
3rd seed, Western Conference Finals, other side of the Warriors.
Who's the 2 seed?
The 2 seed, I believe I had the Thunder, did I? Or the Spurs? The Spurs.
You sticking with the Spurs?
Yeah.
You stick?
Yep.
All right, sticking with the Spurs. Ricky's still sticking there.
Man of my guns.
You're changing up though, and you're saying they're in the Western Conference Finals as well.
I think I am. Yeah, it's hard to not like them right now, and like you said, I don't know if it's sustainable. But what I'm seeing out of them, you say eye test. What I see out there is great defense and a lot of production on the other end of the court.
Again, I'm not saying they're bad, and they're a fantastic regular season team.
Yep.
The one thing is just eye test wise for the playoffs, and that's the one thing. When
if they're healthy, it's Western Conference Finals. If they're not healthy, and and I know that's of course no shit, Dave, but like if they run into a single injury of one of those 4 players you mentioned, they're done. Like this team is being broken up in this offseason. They're all walking.
I think a team that could be dangerous to them is because, say they're the 4th seed or 3 seed, a team that they might run into is the Utah Jazz, another team that plays phenomenal defense, another team that might not have an answer to Blake Griffin, but pretty much everywhere else they do have an answer. Because George Hill's been playing fantastic. Yeah. You don't really have anyone who can cover Gordon Hayward there. They have a pretty much an answer at shooting guard, and you have a guy in Rudy Gobert who can be phenomenal down low to stop DeAndre Jordan. I think that's a person that you do not want to be matched up with if you're the Clippers, is the Utah Jazz. I think the Jazz. I'm sorry. I think the Clippers. I think they're going to compete as they always do, but again, I haven't seen enough, and I don't think I will see enough until they actually prove me wrong. Okay, so saying that Clippers are going to win every single game because I'm calling them out.
Yep.
So
Clippers new regular season record.
Yes.